2026, there are going to be 48 teams that are playing in the World Cup in 2026. That's the Canada, Mexico, USA sort of triple hosting. And 48 countries will get into the tournament. That's way too many. I'm assuming they will eliminate. Will they eliminate 32 in the first round or only 24? I don't know, man. They still eliminate 32, and then they take the. How are they going to do that as far as the who advances? Did they do that because they want to make sure Canada, who hosts, gets into the tournament, and they want to give them a spot? I mean, who knows? Mexico obviously made it this time. The United States has made it many a time in the past. I don't know what Canada has done in the World Cup historically. I'm sure not much. I don't know if they've even made it. I'm sure they have, but because everybody makes it. But I mean, it's something that is interesting down the road. See, you can't make the World Cup like the NHL and the NBA regular season. It's only once every 4 years. You got to be a little more judicious as far as who gets in, who doesn't get in, and they invite everybody. So that is the thing that I would have a problem with. We'll have to wait and see on that. Here's Matt in L.A., and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Matthew, welcome. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
Great, Chris. Thanks. To answer your question, it actually hasn't been decided yet if all three of the countries would get an automatic bid. I guess that comes up the next time FIFA has their little Congress meeting or whatever they.
And how many teams are going to? How many countries are going to be eliminated after the first round?
I don't know. I think that's all decided. I mean, I don't know why they increased the amount of teams. They did for the Euro tournament as well. It used to be, I believe, like 16, and then they moved it up to 32. But anyways.
Well, before you continue, I think Colin's got those answers. Colin, let me hear.
So it says right here, the tournament will open with a group stage consisting of 16 groups of 3 teams, with the top 2 teams progressing from each group to a knockout tournament.
So we're going to have 16 groups instead of the 8. We're going to have 3 teams, so they're only going to play 2 games in the first round?
I would think so.
Well, yeah, there's only 3 teams. You can't play yourself. So that means there's only going to be a 2-game first round and 32
unless they intertwine the groups there. They play
and 32 of the 48 are going to advance.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, who put this together? Mark Emmett in the NCAA tournament? I mean, how many teams do you want in this event? Anyway, go ahead. Good job there, Collie. Matt, continue. Go ahead, pal. Let me hear.
Yeah, I don't like the way that sounds. But back to the buzz and the ratings. I think first off, the American fan has gotten over the sting since I think it was December or back in the fall that they didn't qualify. I think back then it was a little depressing, but now I think that the real soccer fan is kind of over it. The U.S. they don't really get past the round of 16 anyway, so it's not like you go to the tournament expecting them to win the whole thing. So I think the buzz, I think the soccer fan, the buzz will be there. I mean, there's a lot of good games in the group. You got Belgium, England, Portugal, Spain, and Mexico, Germany. I mean, Mexico, Germany, obviously with the Mexican population in America, that will bring a big draw, I think. But
when is that Germany-Mexico game? That's the first one. That game is that game is Sunday at 11 a.m. Okay, go ahead.
So that will probably get a lot of buzz just because, obviously in this country, in Mexico, I guess, is the second team. But overall, I think that, there really hasn't been a lot of promoting for it, probably because the U.S. isn't involved. I mean, you watch a lot of sports. Have you seen, besides watching a baseball game on Fox or maybe 1 or 2 commercials during the NBA Finals, that Fox was promoting the World Cup?
Well, the one thing you got to remember here, Matt, Fox has not been involved in sports here for a while. Unless you're watching the golf, they don't have the NBA. They don't have the NHL. Most of their ball games are on FS1. So, I mean, there's no football right now, and that's their bread and butter. They don't have a lot of sports right now. They don't have the horse racing. They don't have anything. So their springtime menu, no tennis, 0. So no hockey. So you would not know if they're promoting it because you and I aren't watching Fox right now because they don't have sports.
Very true. I mean, they did run a few commercials on ABC during the NBA Finals, but I feel like if it was still on ESPN, and you know how ESPN has no shame, they'd be promoting it like no other. Fox, I think, is kind of,
I think that's a fair point. That's last time that this was going on, well done. It was on ESPN. I think that was the one in Brazil. Wasn't on ESPN, and Bob Lee kind of was down there forever, and he did a great. Sort of was Tirico, and he did a great job covering it. There has not been a ton of promotion. I think Russia is a bad site for the United States. It's the time difference, and Russia's not really a quote unquote soccer country. So I mean, I think that hurts it some. No United States. You're right. The sting is over, Matt, but still, you're not going to be able to drape yourself in the American flag. This will be fascinating to see how many folks get into this. Jake in Chicago, Mad Dog Unleashed. Jake, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hey, how's it going, Chris? Doing well. First-time caller. You're talking about how it's a bad idea that there are two teams that advance from each group, and I would strongly disagree.
Right.
For the example that you said earlier, how like England and Belgium are in the same group, and Belgium is a powerhouse, a huge, unbelievable team like Germany, Brazil, all these other teams. And if only one team advances, I mean, England would just be out just based on the group they're in. They basically don't have a chance, and I don't think that's fair. That there's the biggest soccer event in the world every 4 years. After the first round, there are only 8 teams left. You know, I think these
that's fair. I understand.
Teams,
I mean, about England can't beat Belgium in a one-game shootout? No way.
Oh, they could, but it's unlikely. I mean, oh, sorry, I'm driving.
I hear you, Jake. Go ahead, finish up.
But yeah, I mean, these teams like Poland and Colombia, some of these other teams that are very good teams, but I just think they deserve a chance. And it's like the Champions League too is like this, where the top 2 teams advance, and then if you get second, you play a group winner. So it's not like it's the exact same as getting first and second in the group, but.
You get a little advantage.
I still advocate for two.
All right, that's a good point. You get a little advantage if you're the first place team, because then you play the second place team in another group. For instance, let's look at the England and Belgium scenario. England's in Group G. So the Group G, if you're England, Belgium theoretically would play the second team in Group H. The second team is Colombia, Japan, Poland, and Senegal, and they would play the second place team there, and England would play the first place team. I don't know I'd have to look who the favorites are in that. Let me look right now who ESPN picked as the favorites in that matchup. Let's see what they did. They thought that I'd have to look about and see who these. Here we go. Your guide to the football. Let's see who these people think. These experts. All right. In the Poland group, which is group, is it H? It is. They like Group A. They like. Let's see. In Group H, they think that Colombia and Poland will get out. All right. The reason is Senegal has a lot of quality, good attack. They can make their way out of the group. Anything could happen. So they think this is a very tricky group. They do pick Colombia and Poland to get out of it. And obviously England and Belgium on the other side. 23 after the hour. Look at me breaking down World Cup here on Mad Dog Unleashed.